We are getting set for first pitch here at Pioneer Park between the Greenville Flyboys and the Kingsport Axemen here on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Nick Rodecap with you from Pioneer Park. So happy to have you with us on this Wednesday evening. We were supposed to play a doubleheader last night, but as the Flyboys have become accustomed to, it rained, and it rained a lot. So we pushed the doubleheader to today, and the Flyboys will hope to complete a 3-game sweep against the Axemen and improve to, dare I say, a season-high 7 games over 500. In the first game of this doubleheader, they will go with left-hander Kyle Body out of Oklahoma State. Body turned in a fantastic performance for the Flyboys in his last start. That was a game at Elizabethton where the Flyboys fell to the Elizabethton River Riders 1-0. It was a pitcher's duel in every sense of the word. But Body was fantastic, striking out 7 over 5 scoreless innings, allowing just 2 hits and walking 1 batter. Body, overall this season, has allowed 2 runs in 7 2/3 innings, walked 5 and struck out 9, while giving up 6 hits. But he looks to carry the form that he showed in his last start. The Kingsport Axemen look to continue their early offensive attack. They scored all 5 of their runs in the first 4 innings of yesterday's 7-inning game. And manager Rick Adair has set his lineup card like this. Alex Kelsey is in left field leading off. Derek Pitts back in the number 2 spot playing center field. Cam Durnan, the shortstop, bats third. Blake Primrose is catching, and he bats cleanup. Ben Tryon, the right fielder, bats 5th. Ty Denton, the designated hitter, bats 6th. P.J. Jones, the first baseman, bats 7th. Colton Sims at third base, batting 8th. And Phoenix McFarland, the second baseman, batting 9th. Kingsport's offense remains one of the most potent in the Appy League. They lead the league in scoring at over 7 runs per game. The league average, 5.86 runs per game. The Flyboys bullpen was able to keep them from adding any insurance yesterday, as Evan Kay, Garrett McCowiak, and Emery Dawkins delivered 4 scoreless innings in relief. Body getting his warm-up pitches in. It is another warm late afternoon here in East Tennessee, as it is in much of the country. Game time temperature well into the territory of just flat-out hot, 91 degrees. As we get underway, Body is warmed up. Alex Kelsey, one of 3 left-handed batters in the Kingsport order, stepping to the plate. And we are set for first pitch here from Pioneer Park. The Flyboys defensively changing things up a little bit tonight. Brady Francisco is behind the plate. A.J. Diaz gets the start at third base. Cameron Kim playing shortstop. Tyler Inge moving over to second base. And Ezra McNaughton is the first baseman for the Flyboys. Kelsey stepping in from the left side. Body the southpaw into his motion. And the first pitch. Kelsey takes a breaking ball for a strike. We're underway at 5:30 on the nose. Left to right in the Flyboys outfield, Grant Hunter, Reed Hare getting the start in center, and Micah Jordan is in right. Here's the 0-1 to Kelsey. A swing and a miss on a breaking ball there from Body. Kelsey looked like he wanted to hold up there, but could not, and 2 quick strikes on the Kingsport left fielder. Body with a black glove with orange stitching representing Oklahoma State. Here's the 0-2. Kelsey lines one into shallow right field. Inge, the second baseman, is there. Drifting out just beyond the infield grass. He makes the catch for the first out of the ballgame. Now stepping in, the speedy center fielder Derek Pitts, who is second in the Appy League in stolen bases with 10 on 10 attempts. He did not get any chances to steal yesterday. He tried stealing second base on one occasion, the only time he reached, but Kellen Klosterman balked him over there, so the stolen base attempt was negated. Left on right, Pitts takes outside. Fastball at 88 miles an hour from Kyle Body. Body very quickly ready on the rubber as Pitts steps back in. Here's the 1-0. And Pitts takes a breaking ball on the low inside corner. The home plate umpire here tonight is Zachary Bloom, and working the field for the first game of this doubleheader is Marcus DeCiso. Body back ready. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Pitts a ground ball to the third base side and foul. Diaz ranging over to pick it up. But the count is 1-2. Pitts out of the University of Cincinnati. And I'm happy to inform all of you Midwesterners that Cincinnati is now spelled correctly on the video board with 3 N's and 1 T. 1-2 on Pitts. Here it comes. He hits one on the ground to short. Cameron Kim fields a head-high hop. Throw to first is in time to retire Pitts. 2 quick outs on the infield for Kyle Body here in the first inning. We're scoreless in the top half, just underway from Pioneer Park. The batter now, Cam Durnan. Durnan has the kind of numbers you might expect to see from a leadoff man here early on in the season. He was 2 for 3 last night with a pair of RBIs, raising his on-base percentage to, yes, this is real, .559 through Kingsport's first 16 games. Right-handed batter takes outside, the count 1-0. That ranks 3rd among all hitters in the Appy League. Brady Francisco, the man behind the plate, his on-base percentage of .528 ranks 4th. Durnan swings and misses at a good changeup there from Body on the low outside corner from the southpaw. And the count now 1-1. Flyboys corner infielders shaded toward the foul lines. Here's the 1-1. Durnan takes outside. Body tried to double up on that changeup. That one a little bit further off the plate. Some sun blanketing the field here at Pioneer Park. Only behind the plate and the first base foul line are in the shade. 2-1. Durnan hits one in the air to center. Reed Hare started in, now comes back a couple steps, and he makes the catch to retire Durnan. A 1-2-3 first inning for Kyle Body. He needed just 11 pitches to sit down the side. Axman scoreless, Greenville coming to bat as we go to the bottom of the first here on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Scoreless after a half inning here from Pioneer Park. The Flyboys hosting the Kingsport Axman. This is the second game of a 3-game series. Greenville looking to lock it up in the first game of this doubleheader here this afternoon. Nick Rotacap with you on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Kingsport goes with right-handed starting pitcher Jacob Golston. These are 2 in-state rivals going at it on the mound to start tonight. Kyle Body for the Flyboys out of Oklahoma State, and Jacob Golston out of the University of Oklahoma. So we've got our own mini Bedlam rivalry going on here. Golston will face Micah Jordan, Tyler Inge, and Ezra McNaughton to start the night. This is Golston's second season with the Axemen, and last season he made 7 starts, pitching 33 2/3 innings to the tune of a 6.42 ERA. Micah Jordan, right-handed batter, steps in. First pitch fouled back. Golston making his 3rd start of the season. He's been better to start things for Kingsport in year number 2. He's allowed 3 earned runs on 4 hits over 7 innings, walking 3 and striking out 10. That's good for an ERA of 3.86. Here's the 0-1 to Jordan. Breaking ball floats inside from the right-handed pitcher. Golston, a lanky right-handed pitcher, standing at 6'6", 200 pounds. He's got stirrups showing just below his pants. 1-1, a high chopper back to the mound. Golston waits on it. Underhand flip to first is in time to get Jordan. Score at 1-3 as the Flyboys leadoff man is gone. Next to the plate, Tyler Inge. And Inge tied the game yesterday with his 7th inning sacrifice fly. Looking to continue his good streak at the plate. He's got the batting average up to 300. Golston, his battery mate tonight, Blake Primrose behind the plate. Right on right, here's the first pitch. Inge takes a breaking ball for a strike. Slider there from Golston. Colton Sims at third base for the Axemen. Cam Durnan, the shortstop. Phoenix McFarland at second base. And P.J. Jones over at first. Here's the 0-1. Inge takes a fastball right at the knees for a strike. That one at 93 miles an hour from Golston. Left to right in the outfield, Alex Kelsey, Derek Pitts, and Ben Tryon is in right. Golston quickly ahead, 0-2. Here's the line and the pitch. 0-2, a check swing on a breaking ball. Appeal to first says he didn't go around. The catcher, Primrose, had tagged out Tyler Inge, thinking that he went around and that was strike 3, but Inge gets a new life from home plate umpire Zachary Bloom. These teams in the same uniforms they wore last night. The Flyboys, I think, wearing different hats, though. 1-2. Here's the pitch. Inge takes a fastball on the outside corner, strike 3. Jumping up and down in the box is Tyler Inge, asking Zachary Bloom, is that pitch on the low outside corner? Bloom says yes. And Inge takes a seat. 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the first, and now Ezra McNaughton stepping to the plate. The Flyboys in their cream-colored home uniforms with Flyboys in capital letters across the front in navy, outlined in white and red. Kingsport in their orange uniforms with white lettering and blue accents. Here's the first pitch to McNaughton. Left-handed batter, a hard ground ball up the middle. Cam Durnan fields from deep short, and he throws out McNaughton to end the inning. Both pitchers trade 1-2-3 first innings. On to the top of the second we go. Scoreless between the Flyboys and the Axemen on the Greenville Flyboys Baseball Network. Getting set for the top of the second inning here from Pioneer Park. The Flyboys and the Axemen scoreless in the second game of this 3-game series. The Axemen were retired in order by Flyboys left-hander Kyle Body, so they'll send 4, 5, and 6 to the plate here. It'll be Blake Primrose, followed by Ben Tryon and Ty Denton. Rick Adair, the Kingsport manager, electing to use a few more right-handed hitters in the lineup today, with Kyle Body, the southpaw, getting the nod for Greenville. Just 3 lefties in the Axemen lineup here this evening, after they used 4 lefties and a switch hitter, or excuse me, I should say, 4 lefties and no switch hitter last night. Kingsport does have a switch hitter on the roster. It's Jace Rusine, but he pinch hit late in the game. Body on the rubber. Primrose, the right-hander, steps in. Here's the first pitch. Primrose takes low. Primrose had a good season at St. Joe's in his first go-around at the collegiate level. Played in 42 games. Hit nearly .330. 1-0. Primrose takes an inside strike on a breaking ball. He was named to the A-10 All-Rookie team. One of 2 St. Joseph's players to earn the honor. Here's the 1-1. Primrose takes in the dirt from Body. St. Joseph's in Philadelphia, where I would hope it's a little bit cooler than here in Greenville. Temperature 91 degrees in the early going. Here's the 2-1. Primrose lines one to center field. Inge can't get it. That ball was sinking as it cleared the infield dirt, but it's down in front of Reed Hare. A leadoff single for Blake Primrose to start the second. The batter now, Ben Tryon, the left-handed batting right fielder. And Kyle Body has done what Flyboys pitchers have kind of struggled with in the past few days. He did not give up a run in the first inning. Greenville had allowed 7 runs in the first inning over its last 3 games entering tonight. The pitch to Tryon. Low and away. Body missing with the breaking ball there. These teams both love to steal bases. Kingsport has been slightly less successful than the Flyboys, stealing 35 bases at a 79% clip. Short lead for Primrose at first. The 1-0. Tryon fouls it back. But Kingsport has been very good at manufacturing runs, and also preventing them as well, leading the league in scoring on a per-game basis while giving up the 3rd fewest runs per game of any of the 10 Appy League teams. 1-1 on Tryon. Body delivers. Line drive to left field, a sinking line drive, tailing away from A.J. Diaz, or I should say Grant Hunter. A.J. Diaz is at third base. Grant Hunter makes the catch, and Tryon is gone. So with Tryon retired, 1 away here in the top of the second. We're scoreless between Greenville and Kingsport. The batter now Ty Denton. Left on right here, Body takes a look over at first. Primrose with a very short lead. First pitch to Denton, a called strike. Denton moving down in the lineup a couple spots. Or moving up, I should say. He was the cleanup man the first time these teams met, but last night he was down in the number 8 spot. Here's the 0-1. Denton fouls it straight back, and the count 0-2. Tonight, Denton in the 6th spot as the designated hitter. And you can't help but think he's due to start raking here soon after the season he had. This past spring. 0-2 on him here, the pitch. Missing low and in is Kyle Body. Denton at Cleveland State this past year at the JUCO level, played in 49 games, hit .359 with an OPS near 1,100. 1-2, the pitch. Swing and a miss. Body got him to go over the top of a changeup there. His first strikeout of the game. So a couple batters retired consecutively after the leadoff single. And the batter now, P.J. Jones. Jones out of Maryland. Played for the Terrapins. Appeared in 18 games in his freshman season. He made it count, though. Also an OPS near 1,100. 3 homers and 16 driven in. The Terps not quite having the same level of success in the past couple years as they did in 2023 when they won the conference. Jones takes a curveball in the dirt from Body. Jones with red protective equipment, matching the Terrapins colors. They've got one of the more unique color schemes, I would argue, if not in the Big Ten, in all of college sports. 1-0, the pitch. Jones lines one into left field. That is a seeing eye single with 2 away here in the top of the second. Men at first and second now for Colton Sims. And for Jones, that's a base hit that he desperately needed. Entering today, his batting average was under 100. He was 3 for 31, striking out nearly half the time. Colton Sims looking to do the same. Sims, the Axeman third baseman, batting 8th in the order. Hitless in his first 27 at-bats this season. But a chance for him to get Kingsport on the board first here in the second. Left on right. The pitch from Body. A fastball missing just high from the left-hander. Sims striking out 41% of the time. But at some point, he's a very talented player, committed to Vanderbilt. At some point, his luck's going to turn. Hopefully it's not against the Flyboys. The 1-0, a swing and a miss. Body went down and in with the fastball there, and Sims couldn't golf it. That's something I'm not very good at. Golf is hard. A lot of baseball players and coaches love to go golfing. I cannot say that I share their same affinity for the links. Here's the 1-1. Sims fouls it back off the catcher Francisco, and the count is 1-2. I used to go to the driving range before I started playing baseball, and I was decent. I never actually played a round of golf. Then I started playing baseball and hung it up for a little bit. Went to Topgolf about a year ago, and everything I hit was just slicing like there was no tomorrow. Here's the 1-2 to Sims. Swinging another foul at home plate. I feel like that's a problem that a lot of baseball players have. Even though it's been probably 6 years since I've seen live pitching. I think it just has to do with the swing mechanics. In golf, your objective is not to hit the ball as hard as you can. It requires more finesse than baseball does. Here's the 1-2. Sims takes outside from Body. Tried to go away with that changeup to the right-handed hitter again. We've seen him get a couple swings and misses on it, but that one too elevated and too far off the plate. So the count 2-2 on Sims. Actually, it wasn't Topgolf. It was Drive Shack in Tennessee, if I remember right. 2-2. Sims hits one in the air to left center, a mile high. Ranging back is Grant Hunter, the Flyboys left fielder, and he makes the catch just in front of the warning track to retire the side. Kingsport, a pair of hits in the inning. They strand them both, and after an inning and a half, scoreless between the Flyboys and the Axemen on the Greenville Flyboys Baseball Network. Welcome back to Pioneer Park, getting set for the bottom of the second inning between the Flyboys and the Kingsport Axemen. Nick Rotocap with you here on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Jacob Golston, the Kingsport right-handed pitcher, retired the Flyboys in order in the first. He'll face Lane Akers, Cameron Kim, and Grant Hunter here in inning number 2. Akers stepping into the right-handed batter's box. Golston, the line and the pitch. Akers takes inside. Golston missing with the fastball. He's been swinging it well as of late, has Lane Akers. Another multi-hit performance last night, including the 3-run homer that got the Flyboys on the board in the 4th inning. 1-0. Akers takes a slider right on the low outside corner for a strike. It's a perfect pitch there from Golston. Akers in the previous game, Flyboys hosting Pulaski this past Sunday, had a pair of RBI singles, the latter of which was a walk-off base hit. 1-1. Slider missing just low. Golston tried to double up, but that one didn't miss by much. And I think Kingsport manager Rick Adair was voicing his displeasure. The umpire, Zachary Bloom, turning to the third base dugout after that pitch. Here's the 2-1. Akers takes outside. Sometimes you'll see coaches work out some sort of communication system with their catchers in the event of a borderline call like that. 3-1. Golston deals. Akers takes in the dirt, and it's a leadoff walk issued to the Flyboys cleanup man to start the second. The batter now, Cameron Kim, the right-handed hitting infielder, playing shortstop here tonight. He also spends some time at third base. It's sometimes for coaches, they'll ask the catcher, hey, was that outside? And they'll tell the catcher, if it was, fix your chest protector, touch the top of your mitt, touch your mask, something of that nature. You don't want to make it obvious because a big no-no in baseball is showing up the umpire by flat out saying, yeah, you missed that call. Here's the pitch to Kim. A strike at the bottom of the zone. Good two-seam fastball there from Golston. You can see the late arm side run on that pitch. Akers, the Flyboys' designated hitter. A short lead over at first. Golston sets. And the 0-1. A breaking ball missing low and a bit inside to Kim. And you hear about it all the time, the importance of catchers establishing a good rapport with umpires. Just being open in communication, I think, is the biggest thing. 1-1 on Kim. Here's the pitch. Kim takes inside, brushed off the plate by a belt-high fastball there. Because if you and the umpire have a good working relationship in the early innings, well, you might get a favorable call or two down the stretch. 2-1 on Kim. And Golston deals. Kim, a ground ball through the right side for a base hit. A perfect opposite field swing there by the Cal State Fullerton commit. Akers moves up to second. 2 base runners to start the second inning for Greenville. And the batter now, Grant Hunter.
Number 22, Grant Hunter.
That was just a great swing there by Kim. He took that low inside sinking fastball inside out and shot it through the gap between the first baseman, P.J. Jones, and the second baseman, Phoenix McFarland. So another right-handed hitter to the plate now in Hunter. Flyboys using 2 lefties in this lineup tonight. First pitch, Hunter takes low and outside. Ezra McNaughton was retired in the first inning, and Reed Hare batting 9th in the Flyboys order. An RBI opportunity here for Hunter. Got the night off last night. Golston set. Akers inching off second. And the 1-0. Hunter, a high chopper to the left side. Going to be tough to turn to. Sims only plays to first. He makes it in time to get Grant Hunter. But Kim moves up to second. And Lane Akers moves up to third. So it's a productive first out. And the batter now, Brady Francisco. Kim hustling to second there to take away the double play opportunity. RBI opportunity for Francisco now. Batting just 105 on the season, but he had a hit, his second of the season last night. Raising his on-base percentage to .528. Here's the pitch. Right-handed batter takes in the dirt. It gets away from Primrose. Coming home is Akers. Play at the plate. Safe. Akers scores on the passed ball. That ball did not get that far away from Primrose. It didn't leave the home plate circle. But Akers got a good read on it, said, you know what, I can make this. And the Flyboys take a 1-0 lead here in the second. Kim moves up to third on the play. Heads up base running there by Lane Akers. Jack Wilson, the Flyboys manager, talks about it all the time, how he wants his guys to take risks. 1-0 on Francisco, the pitch. A fastball right there for strike one. That one has scored a wild pitch. So Akers scoring on the wild pitch. Kim moving up to third. And Wilson talking about how, you know, just because you get on base doesn't mean your job is done. You still got to find a way to score any way you can. Here's the 1-1. Francisco takes a fastball low and outside. Good velocity from Golston on the heater in the early going. He's touched 93 a few times, including on that last offering. Kim a short lead at third. And the 2-1 to Francisco. A chopper back to the mound. Kim coming home. Golston's only play is to first. The lob there beats Francisco. But the Flyboys do a good job of capitalizing as Francisco picks up an RBI on the ground out, and the Flyboys lead 2-0 here in the second. Diaz stepping in now, the Flyboys' third baseman. 2 runs home, 2 away in the inning for the Flyboys' two-way player. Golston back out of the windup now. Golston. He's ready. Here's the first pitch to Diaz. A breaking ball right there for a strike. And that's a good job there by the Flyboys. Again, not trying to do too much in that spot, knowing, okay, 2 on, nobody out. Ideally, we need to get at least 1. They did better, of course. 0-1, up and in with the fastball there from Golston. Not trying to do too much, not trying to be the hero. Hunter doing a good job of moving the runners over. That's what allowed Akers to score on the wild pitch. And then Francisco bringing Kim home as well. 1-1. Diaz gets hit on the elbow guard by a breaking ball. Golston clapping to himself in frustration as if to say, man, I should not have missed by that much. But a 2-out base runner for Greenville. And up comes Reed Hare. And Hare did a good job last night. In the bottom of the 7th, he came in as a pinch hitter, worked a leadoff walk, and ended up scoring the tying run in that game. Diaz off of first. Right on left, Golston fires. Hare takes a sinking fastball for a strike on the outside black. Hare's batting average just shy of 290 and 286 entering tonight, but his on-base percentage, .475. Here's the 0-1. Hare takes outside. Now, Hare is not qualified. He hasn't played a high enough percentage of the Flyboys games to be qualified. But if he were qualified, he would be among the top 20 players in the Appy League in on-base percentage. 1-1. And the pitch from Golston. Hare fouls one off the other way. And the count 1-2. That one just off the end of the bat from Reed Hare, I should say. 2-0 Greenville here in the home half of the second. An RBI ground out from Brady Francisco and a wild pitch to credit for the scoring so far. Hare choking up just a bit on his two-tone black and gray bat. Here's the 1-2. Hare lines one the other way, but just foul. A lot of foul territory here at Pioneer Park. Some of those pop-ups that might go out in other parks here in the Appy League stay in. The big warning track, a cause of the brick wall lining foul territory. Here's the 1-2. Off-speed pitch missing well outside to Hare. The count now 2-2. And Golston, he hit Diaz with a breaking ball. And then that off-speed pitch there just kind of popped out of his hand in a similar fashion. So if you're Hare, you might be sitting on the fastball here on 2-2. Here it comes. It is a fastball, and Hare swings through it for strike 3. But the Flyboys strike first with a pair of runs, capitalizing on some early base runners. We go to the 3rd inning, Greenville leading 2-0 over the Axemen on the Flyboys Baseball Network. After 2 here at Pioneer Park, the Flyboys lead the Kingsport Axemen 2-0. Kyle Body pitching with a lead for the first time in a couple starts. The Flyboys were shut out when Body delivered 5 scoreless at Elizabethton a week ago today. So Body carrying over that form perhaps, looking to lift the Flyboys to their 5th win in their last 6 games. He'll face 9-1-2 here in the top of the 3rd. And Mason Swinney pinch hitting for Phoenix McFarland. The right-handed batter takes a strike. McFarland was the second baseman. We will see who takes over in the field in the bottom of this inning. Swinney swings and misses for strike 2. And Swinney, a two-way player out of Dallas Baptist University. 0-2, Body winds and deals. Fastball outside. That one on the outside chalk to the right-handed batter. Don't know why Phoenix McFarland was pinch hit for. See if we can find out later on. Here's the 1-2. Swinging a foul straight back. Since we're in the 3rd inning, it would have been McFarland's first at-bat of the game. But Swinney taking his place. Here's another 1-2 in the dirt. Body tried an off-speed pitch there, but the pinch hitter didn't bite. A lot of room up the middle against Swinney. Both Flyboys middle infielders shaded towards the corner bases. 2-2, swung on and missed. Body got him on the fastball there. His second strikeout of the game. And back to the top of the order we go for Alex Kelsey. So Kelsey stepping back in from the left side. He was a pinch hitter in last night's game, laid down a good sacrifice bunt in the tiebreaker inning. Left on left, Kelsey takes low and outside. Elsewhere around the Appy League, much like last night, we are the first game in action because we are playing a doubleheader. And it's kind of funny because the doubleheader last night, as Body delivers the 1-0, Kelsey swings through a breaking ball. He wanted to hold up but could not keep the hands back, and the count is 1-1. The doubleheader we played last night was a result of having to make up a game that was scheduled for a couple weeks ago. 1-1. Kelsey takes low and away. That game was a makeup of a game that was rained out. So we played the makeup game, and then the originally scheduled game was rained out and is now being played here today as the first part of a doubleheader. 2-1 on Kelsey. Here it comes. Body delivers a strike at the bottom of the zone on the inside corner with the fastball. The left-hander set very quickly on the rubber. The wind and the 2-2 pitch. Kelsey, a high chopper to first, just foul, says field umpire Marcus DeCiso. Ezra McNaughton made the stop as he sprinted towards foul territory. That ball looked like it might have been fair, but Kelsey will have to try again. Last night around the Appy League, the Burlington Sock Puppets beat Danville 3-1 for their 11th win in 17 games. Pulaski won a tight one at home against Bluefield 7-6. Here's another 2-2. Kelsey takes a curveball low and outside, and he's run the count full here with one away in the top of the 3rd. Flyboys leading 2-0. Body looking for a shutdown inning after the home squad gave him the lead. 3-2. Here's the payoff. Kelsey takes low, ball 4. Body spiked the fastball there.
Now batting number 67, Derek Pitts.
Here's Pitts now. Going to be a tough double play turn with him stepping in. Second in the Appy League behind Micah Jordan in stolen bases. Johnson City mercy ruled Bristol 9-0 on the road. Elizabethton beat Tri-State 9-3 in Huntington, the home of the Colecats. Kelsey, a good lead off of first, even with the lefty body on the mound. Pitts fouls back the first pitch. Kelsey and Pitts, a combined 14 for 16 stealing bases this year. So this might be a tough double play turn all around for the Flyboys defense. They've got 15 through their first 15 games. Here's the 0-1 to Pitts. Fastball for a strike. 90 miles an hour right on the low inside corner from the southpaw to the right-handed hitter. Body looking for the put-away pitch here, saying, hey, I don't even want the chance at a double play because I'd rather strike him out. He sets at the letters. In the 0-2, Pitts a chopper to short. Kim fields, running to his backhand. Off-balance throw is offline, pulling McNaughton off the base. Pitts, I think, would have been safe anyway. He was hustling down the first base line. So now 2 on with 1 away for the best bat in the Kingsport order as Cam Durnan steps to the plate. That is indeed ruled an infield hit. Durnan's the right man for the job. Leading Kingsport in RBIs, OPS, on base percentage, you name it. Chances are he's got it. 17 driven in for him so far. Men at first and second with 1 away here. Left on right, here's the pitch. A line drive to short, caught by Kim, throw to second, gets away, and now the runners are off to the races. This ball goes all the way to the wall in foul territory. Kelsey will score from second. Pitts moves up to third, and Kim, frustrated, pounding his glove against his hip. He wanted the 6-4 double play after the lineout. Instead, it was an offline throw that got past Tyler Inge and rolled from second base all the way to the wall behind first base in foul territory. That allows Kelsey to score. Pitts moves up to third, and Kingsport draws back to within a run as it's now 2-1 here in the top of the third. The batter, Blake Primrose, with 2 away in the inning. And that is a defensive miscue for the Flyboys, a team that has been very solid defensively here in the early going. Their .977 fielding percentage is first in the Appy League. Here's Primrose now, the pitch. A strike, body with a backdoor changeup there to the right-handed hitter. So score that in E6 as Kelsey crosses home plate. 0-1 on Primrose, a close stance from the right side. Here's the pitch. Fouled away over the first base dugout. Body looking to strand the tying run at third base and work around the throwing error by Kim. And that's one that you could see by his body language he was very frustrated with himself over. Body set. And the 0-2 pitch. Primrose fouls it away. This one to the exact same spot over the first base dugout. 2-1 Flyboys here in the top of the third. With 2 away in the inning, Pitts is off on contact. Both Flyboys middle infielders with their spikes just a step onto the outfield grass. Here's the 0-2. Primrose fouls it back. He's spoiled now 3 in a row. And this is a 7-inning game. Both games today will be 7 innings, just like last night's game was. And you're thinking, well, wait, you only played 1 game. How was it 7 instead of 9? 0-2 to Primrose. Backdoor breaking ball, misses away. That one tempting the outside chalk. That was not a strike. And I think, yeah, it was supposed to be a doubleheader yesterday. That's why the first game was 7 innings. I think if we had played 9, that game probably would have been called early due to lightning. Here's the 1-2. Primrose takes low and in. Body pulling the fastball a little bit there. All the pitches in this plate appearance have been low and away to the right-hand batter Primrose, who's got 1 of Kingsport's 3 hits. They're out-hitting the Flyboys 3-1. But stranded a pair of singles last inning, and time called at home plate by Primrose. Batting average still under 200 for him, but the slugging and on-base numbers have been quite good. Pair of homers and 8 driven in. RBI number 9 potentially waiting for him on third base. Here's the 2-2 from Body. Swinging a chopper past third base and foul. Primrose doing a good job extending this plate appearance. He was quickly down 0-2, but this next pitch will be the 8th of the plate appearance. Body looking to strand the base runner there and keep the Flyboys' lead intact. Here's the 2-2. Low and in, ball 3. Primrose, I think, thought it was ball 4. He flipped the bat towards the third base dugout and started taking off his elbow guard. And home plate umpire Zachary Bloom saying, nope, that's only ball 3. This will be pitch number 9 of the plate appearance here from Body, with the count full after it started 0-2. The lefty sets. And here's the payoff pitch. Breaking ball hit on the ground to short. Kim comes up with it cleanly. Throw across is in time, and the side is retired. The Axemen score an unearned run on the throwing error by Kim. As we go to the bottom of the third, it's 2-1 Greenville on the Flyboys Baseball Network. After 2.5, the Greenville Flyboys leading the Kingsport Axemen 2-1. Kingsport starter Jacob Golston will face the Flyboys order for the second time. It'll be Micah Jordan, followed by Tyler Inge and Ezra McNaughton. He retired them in order to start his outing. We'll see if he can have that same success the second time through. Kingsport got one back on the throwing error that allowed Alex Kelsey to score from second base. The Flyboys will look to give their starting pitcher, Kyle Body, some more insurance here. Jordan, a multi-hit game last night, including a double in the 7th inning. He represented the winning run, but was stranded at third base. The Flyboys won in a tiebreaker, though, so it all evened out. Jordan swings and misses at a first-pitch breaking ball from Golston, and the count 0-1. That's something Jordan loves to do, is swing early in counts. He's done it both times here tonight. That double he hit last night was also on the first pitch of the plate appearance. 0-1, a jam shot popped foul. Drops harmlessly on the warning track and caught off the screen by Flyboys reliever Garrett McCowiak in the first base dugout. McCowiak last night delivered a scoreless inning in the 7th that allowed the Flyboys to then tie the game in the 8th. 0-2 on Jordan. Golston is set. And from the windup, he deals. Jordan swings and misses at a pitch in the dirt. He's tagged out there at home plate by Blake Primrose. And at the classic wipeout slider sends Jordan packing. So now the batter, Tyler Inge. As that is Golston's third strikeout as we begin the bottom of the third. Inge, an upright, open stance. His hands shoulder high. First pitch. Fastball misses inside. Inge leaning out of the way a little bit. And you think for the Flyboys, it's another hot day, which means the ball is going to fly out of here. We saw a couple home runs in last night's game. 1-0. Here's the pitch. Golston misses high with the fastball. And the count now 2-0. And, you know, you never want to try to hit home runs as a hitter. Because if you try to lift the ball, you try to get under it, you're usually going to end up popping it up. 2-0 on Inge. See if he tries to drive this one. Fastball. Misses again. That one just a tick high, and the count 3-0. And the pitcher, Jacob Golston, pointing upward, saying, was that pitch high? And the catcher behind the plate, Blake Primrose, turning to the dugout. I don't think Rick Adair is very fond of Zachary Bloom's strike zone. 3-0 on Inge. Golston trying to battle back. Fastball misses inside, and it's a 4-pitch walk to bring Ezra McNaughton to the plate with a man at first and one away. That's the second walk of the game for Jacob Golson. McNaughton digging in now. Having a fantastic summer so far. Entering this series, he was top 5 in the Appy League in hits so far this year. And leading in that department is the Elizabethton River Riders' dangerous slugger, as McNaughton takes low and away. Jordan Crosland leading the Appy League in hits prior to yesterday's action. Crosland also out of the University of Maryland, just like Paul Jones, who is holding Inge on at first. Here's the 1-0. McNaughton fouls it away over the third base dugout. Inge is a threat to run. Both he and McNaughton have stolen 7 bases this season. Inge has gotten picked off a few times by right-handed pitchers. First base coach Tyke Redman whispering something in his ear before he takes his lead. 1-1 on the dangerous left-handed slugger, McNaughton. Golston sets at the belt. And the 1-1. McNaughton takes a low strike. Fastball. A pitcher-friendly call. That one seemed like it was below the knees. The count is 1-2. A lot of room in the right center field gap for McNaughton. He's shown good power to all parts of the field so far this year. Here's the 1-2. The runner goes. The pitch is fouled back. Inge will have to catch his breath and jog back to first. 2-1 Flyboys here in the bottom of the third. 1 away as the Flyboys have the heart of the order up looking to answer after Kingsport got on the board in the top half of the inning. Golston working from the first base side of the rubber. He's got bright white cleats on. 1-2. Inge goes again. This time the pitch, a broken bat, soft liner to second. McFarland up with it and across to first in time. McFarland really got jammed on that one, but he was, or I should say McNaughton got jammed on that one, but was able to muscle it past the pitcher. And that's actually Mason Swinney who pinch hit for McFarland. So Swinney making that play. Now here's Lane Akers. Man at second, 2 away. Akers has had 5 RBIs over the course of his last 2 games. Here's the pitch. A breaking ball ends up on the inside corner for strike 1. Front hit breaking ball to a right-handed hitter can be dangerous sometimes, especially Akers, who has home run power. But that one right on the inside corner. Inge at second, a good lead. He goes for third. The pitch hit on the ground to second. Another chance for Swinney. And his throw is on target to get Akers. So the Flyboys strand a man in scoring position. After 3, though, they lead 2-1 over the Axemen on the Flyboys Baseball Network. On to the 4th inning here from Pioneer Park. The Flyboys lead Kingsport 2-1. Kyle Body still on the hill for the home 9. And Body will face 5, 6, 7 in the Kingsport Axemen order. It'll be Ben Tryon, followed by Ty Denton and Paul Jones II. So a couple lefties sandwiching a right-handed hitter here. Body back on the mound. Tryon stepping to the plate. And the wind, and here's the first pitch. Tryon takes a fastball for a strike. Tryon flew out to left his first time up. Grant Hunter out there in the corner outfield spot for the Flyboys. Here's the 0-1 to Tryon. Popped up, third base side, foul ground. A.J. Diaz has room, and just shy of the wall in foul territory, he makes the catch to retire Ben Tryon. So here's Ty Denton now. And we've seen a lot of these JUCO guys here in the Appy League. Denton, much like his Kingsport teammate, Tyler Myatt, a very prolific junior college season this past spring. Right-handed batter takes a breaking ball from Body for strike 1. And Body, the Big 12 hurler, got the better of Ty Denton last time. Struck him out on a changeup. 0-1, misses in the dirt. He went to El Cambio there, but could not get the swing and miss. Flyboys will get set for game 2 of this doubleheader, which will take place approximately half an hour after the conclusion of this game. Body looking to give some length on the rubber. 1-1 misses high. That was his 61st pitch of the game. He's thrown 40 strikes, so he's been pretty efficient so far. And the Flyboys did a good job of working through the late innings with their bullpen last night. 2-1 to Denton, misses up and away in the count, 3-1. They got 4 innings from their bullpen. And it helps that these games are 7 innings because of the doubleheader. The Appy League doing a good job of helping teams manage their pitching, which I think is huge. Here's the 3-1. Denton lines one well foul down the left field line. That would have been ticketed for extra bases, but he pulled it a bit too much there. Of course, in all levels of college baseball, pitching is at a premium, to say the least. 3-2, here it comes. Denton breaks his bat. That ground ball past third. And he'll walk back to the third base dugout and get a new piece of lumber. Body really giving him fits with those pitches on the inner part of the plate. And that's what you see from left-handed pitchers a lot of the time when they're facing right-handed hitters. Those batters looking to get their arms extended and drive the ball. But Body doing a good job working right on the inside part of home plate. Here's another 3-2 to Denton. Swing and a miss. There's that breaking ball low and in. Denton swung right over the top of it. He struck out Denton twice, has Kyle Body. That time he got him on the slider. Up comes P.J. Jones now. Jones, the Maryland Terrapin, singled his first time up, improving his batting average. He was under 100, starting the season just 3 for 31. Looking for a multi-hit performance here as he steps into the lefty box. Body looking for his second 1-2-3 inning in 4 times of asking. Here's the line and the pitch. Jones, a swing and a miss. Tardy on a fastball right down Main Street, and the count is 0-1. That one at 90 miles an hour from the lefty. 90 from the left side, I think, is difficult for many college hitters. 0-1 misses inside. I know from covering the Big Ten, where Jones plays his college ball, there aren't a lot of hard-throwing lefties in the conference. Most lefties in the mid to upper 80s. 1-1. Jones takes a slow curveball right on the inside corner for strike 2. That one at 72 miles an hour from Body. 18 miles an hour slower than his fastball. 1-2 on Jones. Body lined and the pitch. Jones hits a high chopper up the first base line. Ezra McNaughton waits on it, takes 2 steps to his left, and steps on the bag to retire the side. A clean 4th inning for Kyle Body. Another 1-2-3 frame for him. And we are halfway home in this 7-inning affair. The Flyboys leading 2-1 over the Axemen on the Greenville Flyboys Baseball Network. Welcome back to Pioneer Park, where the Flyboys lead the Kingsport Axemen 2-1 as we begin the bottom of the 4th. Flyboys looking for some insurance to help themselves breathe a little easier. They'll have the part of the order due up that got the scoring started in the second. Cameron Kim will be followed by Grant Hunter and Brady Francisco as we pass the halfway mark in this 7-inning contest. Kim stepping into the right-handed box. The right-hander Jacob Golston still on the mound. And the pitch. Kim fouls it away over the first base side. It's a late arriving crowd again here at Pioneer Park, given the circumstances. This one a doubleheader, beginning 90 minutes before we usually start proceedings here. 0-1 on Kim. And the pitch. He takes a breaking ball inside. The infielders on the first base side, the first baseman the first baseman P.J. Jones and the second baseman Mason Swinney, kind of an unusual alignment. Jones well off the first base line behind the bag, but the second baseman Swinney almost halfway between first and second. 1-1, chopped up the middle. Swinney ranging a long way, throws on the run. It's not dug out cleanly by Jones. It ricochets into foul territory, and Kim moves up to second. Kim was hustling down the line, and we just talked about it. If Swinney was positioned in a more normal spot, he might have had a chance to make that play. But because he was so close to first base, he had to hustle over and make a jump throw on the run to try to get Cameron Kim. It was not dug out cleanly on the short hop by Jones. Tried to go to his backhand. And with that expansive foul ground here at Pioneer Park, Kim has an infield hit, and he moves up to second on the error by Swinney. So now digging in, Grant Hunter, right on right. First pitch fastball, misses up and in from the righty Jacob Golston for ball one. And this is what the Flyboys did last inning. They were able to capitalize in this spot after the first two men reached to start the inning. I should say their last scoring, which was in the second inning. Here's Hunter, chopping the 1-0 pitch foul to the left side. So Hunter digging back in now. And the defensive alignment still a little bit unique. There's a lot of room on the right side of the infield. And the shortstop holding the runner on. Also a lot of room on the left side. Here's the 1-1. Hunter takes a breaking ball inside. Golston has not been able to find the release point on that curveball consistently to right-handed hitters. You notice him missing inside a lot. And the danger with that is if that comes back over the plate, it's pretty easy for it to find the barrel of the hitter. Here's the 2-1. Hunter takes a slider low and away. So Golston having trouble with his off-speed pitches as he works through the Flyboys order for the second time. And if you're Greenville, again, we talked about it a couple innings ago. But I think you can sort of key in a little bit more on the hard stuff from Golston. Kim gets a great jump, takes off for third. The pitch, a called strike, no throw. Cameron Kim was shuffling off of second base, and Golston never gave him a glance back there. So Kim steals his second base of the season. Primrose didn't even think about throwing. 3-2 on Hunter, man at third now with nobody away. Here's the pitch. Hunter foul tips it at home plate, held on to by Primrose for strike three. Fourth strikeout for Golston. And the batter now, Brady Francisco. Picked up an RBI for the Flyboys in his last trip. Grounded out back to the mound, but got the job done. Francisco's been good at finding ways to bring runs across. It's not always with the base hit. Golston's ready. Infield in, the pitch. Francisco, a chopper above the third baseman's head into left field for a base hit. Francisco's thinking too. He slams on the brakes and hustles back to first. But Brady Francisco with an RBI single, scoring Cameron Kim, and the Flyboys lead 3-1 here in the bottom of the fourth. That was a chopper that was hit so hard straight into the ground. It bounced right in front of home plate and then went over the head of Colton Sims at third base. Francisco will take it. It's a line drive in the scorebook, but that one, a projected distance of 4 feet. It ended up in shallow left field. Here's A.J. Diaz. Diaz takes low and away. The right-handed hitter ahead in the count 1-0. So once again, a great job by Francisco of finding a way to drive the runner home. It's not flashy, but it gets results. And really, that's all that matters. Here's the pitch to Diaz. A hard ground ball up the middle, past the diving shortstop Dernan into center field. Back-to-back singles for the Flyboys here with one away as they look to extend this 3-1 lead. Stepping up now, the left-handed batting center fielder Reed Hare.
Now batting for the Flyboys,
And for Greenville, all 4 of the Flyboys' hits have been singles, as the catcher Blake Primrose walks out to the mound to have a word with Jacob Golston. And that will also bring Kingsport pitching coach John Chalupa out of the dugout as well. Chalupa, from this far away, looks a bit like Tony Vitello, the Tennessee Volunteers head coach. Vitello, obviously a very popular figure in this part of the country, and understandably so. We're about an hour away from Knoxville. Golston running into trouble during his second trip through the order, and it's been the bottom half of Greenville's lineup that's given him fits both times. Cameron Kim, the number 5 hitter, 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored. Brady Francisco with 2 RBIs in 2 trips. And A.J. Diaz, after the single and the hit by pitch in his first trip, has reached both times. Here's Reed Hare after the mound meeting. Hare struck out swinging on a fastball to end the second inning. But he's got a chance to drive in some runs here and give the Flyboys a little bit more breathing room. Hare, the Flyboys outfielder, kind of in a platoon role, playing more or less every other game. The Flyboys rotating 4 men through the outfield. Right on left, Golston deals. Hare hits one in the air to center field. This one's pretty well struck. Pitts backpedaling towards the track, makes the catch. Both runners will tag as the ball was hit plenty deep. Throw into second, gets away, but backing up the play is Primrose as the pitcher Golston rotates over to cover home plate. It's a productive second out of the inning for Reed Hare. That ball dying just shy of the 400-foot sign. So stepping in Micah Jordan with a chance at an RBI. Time called as Primrose once again walks out to the mound to talk to Jacob Golston. Jordan, given that he's at the top of the Flyboys order nearly every night, doesn't get a lot of chances to drive runs in. He's got just 3 RBIs on the season. But Jordan, a fan favorite here in Greenville, and with this expansive outfield, we've seen a couple hard hit balls in this inning. If Jordan can get one into the gap or down the foul line, he might be thinking about a triple. Flyboys up 3-1 here in the bottom of the 4th. 1 run home on the RBI single from Brady Francisco. He's at third base. The trail runner is A.J. Diaz at second. Golston is set. And the pitch to Jordan. Fastball swung on and missed. And I wonder if part of that mound meeting between Golston and the catcher Blake Primrose was to say, hey, this guy loves swinging at the first pitch, so let's go right at him. That was a fastball just off the plate inside that Jordan swung through. Golston set as Jordan looks to break it open. Here's the 0-1. Jordan hits a breaking ball on the ground to short. Durnan charges, throw across the diamond, gets him by a step, and the side is retired. So the Flyboys add 1 on the RBI single from Brady Francisco. They leave a pair, and on to the 5th inning we go. Greenville leading 3-1 on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Flyboys starting pitcher Kyle Body looking to get through 5 innings for his 2nd consecutive outing. Colton Sims, Mason Swinney, and Alex Kelsey, batters 8-9-1 in the Kingsport Axemen lineup, will try to do something about it. The lefty back to work. Colton Sims hits the first pitch in the air to center. Reed Hare camping under it, ranging into the gap a little bit. He makes the catch. 1 pitch, and the Axemen third baseman is gone. Flyboys leading 3-1 here in the top of inning number 5. Swinney stepping to the plate now. He entered the game as a pinch hitter prior to the number 9 spot in the Kingsport order coming up for the first time. He replaced Phoenix McFarland at second base. Left on right, Body deals. And a swing and a miss by Swinney on the fastball. The count 0-1 on the right-handed batting two-way player. Body working quickly. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swinney fouls it away over the first base side. A lot more fans have filed in here at Pioneer Park. We're getting close to the normal start time here 15 minutes shy of 7 o'clock. Body the wind, and the 0-2. Swinney takes low and in. Body tried the changeup there. Body's been good so far. His pitch count just north of 70 here, with 1 away in the 5th. Here's the 1-2. Swinney takes outside. Body missing with the fastball there. And that's kind of been the mark for him, is 5 innings as a starter for the Flyboys. Here's the 2-2. Swinney takes in the dirt, and he's worked the count back full after falling behind 0-2. But Body and Kellen Klosterman both went 5 innings in their starts at Elizabethton last week. Klosterman didn't quite have the same success last night. Here's the 3-2 to Swinney, and he takes outside. It's a 1-out walk to the number 9 hitter in the Kingsport lineup. That is not what Kyle Body would have wanted, I am sure. Just his second walk of the game so far. And the batter now, Alex Kelsey. Brady Francisco, the Flyboys catcher, walking out to have a word with Body. These two will be teammates at Oklahoma State in the fall. So they will be very well acquainted by the time they get going in Stillwater in about 8 months' time. The batter, Kelsey, 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored today. He came home on the throwing error by Cameron Kim back in the 3rd inning. And Swinney aboard at first base. We'll see how aggressive he is with the lefty Body on the mound. A short lead. And the pitch to Kelsey. Inside, the fastball brushing him off the plate. A.J. Diaz, the Flyboys' 3rd baseman, just shy of the grass, perhaps anticipating the bunt. 1-0. Runner goes. The pitch swung on and missed. Throw down to second. Sails into center field. But backing up the play is Reed Hare. So Swinney holds up at second with the stolen base. Cameron Kim was leaping to try to grab that one. It just kind of sailed on Francisco. You'll see that sometimes when a catcher just rushes a little bit too quickly to try to get the ball out of his hands and to second base. Just not getting on top of it enough there. So 1-1 on Kelsey, man in scoring position. Here's the pitch. Kelsey fouls it away over the 3rd base dugout. And now if you're Body, this is where you've got to dig deep, because Kelsey is an RBI threat, as is Derek Pitts in the on-deck circle. The top of this Kingsport lineup looking to draw level. The Axemen trail 3-1 here in the top of the 5th. Body's ready, and the 1-2. Kelsey fouls it back. And that's something Kingsport has done a good job of here so far in this game, just staying alive. Body's gotten into a lot of 2-strike counts, but the put-away pitches have kind of eluded him at times. Kingsport doing a good job of extending these plate appearances. Body now up to 80 pitches. Here's the 1-2 to Kelsey. Just low. Body missing with the fastball. Right-hander up in the Flyboys bullpen. Looks like, I think Drew Maddox is up and throwing down there. Left on left as Kelsey looks to drive the runner Swinney home from second base. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him on the breaking ball. That is Kyle Body's 4th strikeout through 4 2/3. And now Flyboys manager Jack Wilson coming out of the dugout. And this is just a conference. That's what Wilson has done a lot of lately, just going out to talk to his pitchers. Seeing how they want to attack Derek Pitts. Pitts out of Cincinnati. And he played in 42 games for the Bearcats this past season. There are a lot of notable alumni who have played for Cincinnati. Perhaps top among them, Sandy Koufax, who I am told was a good pitcher. I say that sarcastically, of course. One of the greatest pitchers of all time. Kevin Youkilis of Boston Red Sox fame. Josh Harrison, Played for the Pirates for a while.
Number 67.
Switch hitter Ian Happ, who I feel like doesn't get the respect he deserves in Chicago. And perhaps lesser known, former Chicago Cub Tony Campana. And Campana only hit one home run in his career. It was a very interesting home run as Pitts steps to the plate. Body looks at second. From the letters, he delivers. Pitts, a check swing. He went around on the fastball there. It was off the plate away, but strike one. Tony Campana's only career home run that he ever hit was an inside-the-park homer against the Cincinnati Reds in early August of 2011. Ryan Dempster got the win that day for the Cubs. He threw 110 pitches in 6 innings. 0-1 to Pitts, a changeup at the knees for strike two. That actually was a fastball from Body. It just had so much run and depth to it, I thought it was a changeup. Carlos Marmol got the save en route to his second consecutive 30-save season with the Northsiders. 0-2 on Pitts. Here it comes. Low and in, it gets the toe of Pitts. That's a hit by pitch. It ricocheted off of his foot and to the backstop. Pitts taking a second to gather himself before he strolls down to first base. Now the batter, Cam Durnan. The Axemen's best RBI threat here. Body looking to get through the 5th inning. He's up to now 85 pitches. So his outing coming to a close one way or another here. This is a big spot in this game for Kingsport. The Axemen have the tying run at first base in Pitts. He's got good speed, but perhaps will be hampered after the hit by pitch. Durnan, the right-handed batter, 0 for 2 so far today. Here's the pitch. Backdoor breaking ball for strike one. Carlos Marmol, who got the save when Cincinnati alum Tony Campana hit an inside-the-park home run, was traded to the Los Angeles Dodgers on July 2nd, 2013. That trade itself is not significant, but the date is. 0-1 on Durnan. And Body delivers. Durnan lines one down the left field line. That is fair, and it is headed for the corner. This will likely tie the game. Durnan on his way to second. Pitts, with great speed, will score all the way from first. And the Axemen's best bat has delivered. A game-tying 2-run double here with 2 away in the top of the 5th. We are knotted up at 3. Jack Wilson comes out of the dugout. Looks like that'll be all for Kyle Body. Couldn't quite get through 5 innings as Durnan picks up the 2-run double. RBIs number 18 and 19 for him on the season. You knew Kingsport's offense was going to break through eventually. Durnan tucked that one just inside the third base line, and Body strolls to the dugout as Drew Maddox comes out of the bullpen. Drew Maddox out of the bullpen for the Flyboys with 2 away here in the top of the 5th. Cam Durnan delivered a 2-run double down the left field line. He stands at second base. The batter is Blake Primrose. Right on right, Maddox set at the belt. Here's the pitch. Primrose takes inside. Maddox for the Flyboys. On out of the bullpen for his 6th appearance of the season. 1-0, here it comes. Primrose takes high and tight. Fastball missing that time, and the count 2-0. Maddox has not allowed a run yet. They're 7 2/3. He's held opposing lineups scoreless, allowing just 4 hits, walking 2 and striking out 7. So he's been good for Greenville, but entering in a tough spot here with the cleanup man up and a man on second. Here's the 2-0. Primrose takes a slider for a strike. It's a perfect pitch on the outside corner there from Maddox. Maddox joining the Flyboys by way of Tennessee Tech. 2-1, runner dancing at second. Here's the pitch. Primrose swings and misses at an off-speed pitch there from Maddox. The right-handed batter was out in front, and the count now back even at 2-2. This one looks like it's shaping up to be another dramatic finish here at Pioneer Park. Tied at 3 in the 5th, and we're playing 7. Here's the 2-2, a spin and a throw back to second. Maddox will lob it over there. Durnan in there safely. He started leaning towards third, but Tyler Inge was not playing on the bag. So Maddox just keeping him honest, perhaps hoping that if Primrose hits safely, the Flyboys would have a chance to throw out Durnan at the plate. Durnan is the responsibility of Kyle Body. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball outside. That went off the outside edge. So the count full on Primrose. Ben Tryon would be next for the Axemen. Maddox looking to end the 5th inning right here. Closed set. Glove comes to rest at the belt, and the payoff. Primrose fouls it back. Maddox with it, missing with a breaking ball, or should I say, not getting the swing and miss on the breaking ball, as Primrose just got a piece to tip that straight back. Temperature still a balmy 90 degrees, though some clouds have come over Pioneer Park. Maddox is set in the 3-2. Primrose swings and misses at the slider, or excuse me, at the fastball for strike 3. Maddox gets out of the jam, strands a man at second, but we are starting over as we head to the bottom of the 5th. 3-3 our score between Greenville and the Axemen on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Welcome back to Pioneer Park as we get set for the bottom of the 5th inning. Kingsport plated a pair on the 2-run double by Cam Durnan. So we are starting over. And for the Axemen, starting pitcher Jacob Golston still on the mound, perhaps pitching with a new lease on life. As we begin the home half of the 5th, it'll be Tyler Inge, Ezra McNaughton, and Lane Akers. And for the Flyboys, that's the part of the order that you want as you try to retake the lead here. This game just 7 innings long, so both teams running out of scoring chances very quickly. Inge takes a fastball right down the middle for strike 1 from Golston. Inge walked back in the 3rd, struck out looking on the heater in the 1st. Golston up north of 60 pitches now through 4+ innings. Here's the 0-1. Inge takes in the dirt. That fastball just a little bit too low from Golston. We mentioned that Kingsport center fielder Derek Pitts goes to Cincinnati, and one of the notable alumni there, Tony Campana, played for the Cubs for a few years in the early 2010s. His only career homer was an inside-the-park homer. Here's the 1-1. Inge takes a breaking ball inside. Carlos Marmol got the save in that game when Campana hit his inside-the-park homer, which also scored Starlin Castro if you wanted a blast from the past as far as random Chicago Cubs go. Marmol was traded to the Dodgers on the same day that the Cubs traded 2 players, a pitcher by the name of Scott Feldman and a catcher named Steve Clevenger. Here's the 2-1. Inge fouls it off down the 3rd base side. Feldman and Clevenger traded to the Baltimore Orioles for 2 right-handed arms, Jake Arrieta and Pedro Strop. And I think it's safe to say that the Cubs won that trade. 2-2 on Inge. Golston looking for the punch-out. And here's the pitch. Inge checks his swing. The breaking ball misses low. And the count now 3-2. Arrieta, of course, would turn into an ace for the Cubs in 2015 and 16. Won the World Series, won a Cy Young Award for Chicago. 3-2 on Inge. Here's the payoff. Broken bat and a flare to second, caught in the shallow outfield by Mason Swinney. The barrel of the bat ended up behind home plate on the 3rd base side. The handle of the bat, Inge dropped it in front of home plate. So Golston giving Inge fits on the inside part of the strike zone there. The leadoff man is gone, and up steps Ezra McNaughton. Arrieta winning the Cy Young Award in 2015 through 3 shutouts for the Cubs. McNaughton digging in now. First pitch fastball, misses high. Arrieta in 2015 and 16 was as close to unstoppable as most starting pitchers ever get. 1-0 on McNaughton. Here's the line in the pitch. Foul back. Golston went with the fastball on the outer part of the plate there. And what really struck me about Jake Arrieta in 15 and 16 was, remember, in late 2015, he threw a no-hitter against the Los Angeles Dodgers in L.A. 1-1 on McNaughton as Golston winds and deals. And McNaughton takes low and inside, the pitch skipping to the backstop. Arrieta then, at the start of 2016 in Cincinnati, no-hit the Reds in a game that ended somewhere in the neighborhood of 16-0. Chicago. David Ross caught that no-hitter. 2-1. McNaughton takes high and away, ball 3. Arrieta's first career no-hitter was on August 30th, 2015, a game the Cubs won 2-0 in Chavez Ravine. He walked 1 and struck out 12 in that game. 3-1. McNaughton foul tips it at home plate. That fastball running away from the left-handed hitter, and the count runs full. Arrieta faced just 2 over the minimum in that game. And in 2016, the right-hander, his second no-hitter, was indeed a 16-0 win for the Cubs over the Reds. Here's the 3-2. McNaughton takes low and away, ball 4. And the Flyboys have the go-ahead run aboard here with 1 away in the 5th. And for Golston, that's just his 3rd walk of the game. Batter now, Lane Akers. Akers homered yesterday. It was at this time about 24 hours ago. He had a 3-run shot on a line over the wall and left. See if he can drive another one. He's been one of the Flyboys' best clutch batters here as of late. We'll see if McNaughton runs from first. He's got good speed. Golston sets. And the pitch. Akers takes outside. Fastball missing at the knees, off the plate. Tyke Redmond, the Flyboys' first base coach, saying something to McNaughton right there. He didn't have a short lead on the first pitch of the AB. Inching off first now. And the 1-0. Well outside again from Golston. That pause between pitches, perhaps trying to control the run game just by varying his timing to home plate. That brings Kingsport pitching coach John Chalupa out of the dugout, recognizing the importance of this spot. In this 7-inning game, the Flyboys and Axemen tied at 3 here in the bottom of the 5th. Greenville has a man at first with 1 away. Jake Arrieta for Chicago in 2016, he was otherworldly. Was such a big part of why the Cubs ended up winning the World Series that season. And for the Cubs pitching staff in 2016, it was Arrieta, John Lester, whose personal catcher basically was David Ross. Kyle Hendricks also had a fantastic season. The Cubs had 2 of the top 3 Cy Young Award vote getters in 2016. Lester finished 2nd. Kyle Hendricks finished 3rd in 16. Max Scherzer ended up winning the Cy Young Award. He won 20 games that season and struck out 284 batters. Led the league in both. After the mound meeting, 1-0 the count on Akers. And the pitch from Golston. It hits Akers on the shoulder. That one was a fastball that just got away from Golston. So command troubles here with 1 out in the 5th. After the walk issued to McNaughton and the hit by pitch for Akers, he's okay. Akers now at first base. He's a catcher, and catchers are tough. That brings Rick Adair out of the dugout. And the Kingsport manager looking down towards the bullpen, he makes the motion. And that'll be all for Jacob Golston. The Kingsport starter exiting with 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th. Cameron Kim will step to the plate. But before that, a pitching change with the Flyboys and Axemen tied at 3 on the Greenville Flyboys Baseball Network. Pitching change in a high leverage spot in this game between the Flyboys and the Kingsport Axemen. We're here in the bottom of the 5th. Greenville and Kingsport tied at 3. Jacob Golston exits the game with 1 out in the 5th. The batter due up is Cameron Kim, so Kingsport goes to Chris Cespedes. Cespedes, a right-handed reliever out of the University of Maryland. He pitched against the Flyboys when these two teams met a couple weeks ago. That game was 2 weeks ago today on June 11th. Cespedes pitched 2 scoreless innings to close out the game. Working around some late trouble, stranding the bases loaded in the 8th inning as the Flyboys looked to rally late but could not. And then working around a leadoff single in the 9th to shut the door as Kingsport won that game 11-5. This one, a little bit closer since we're tied at 3. Cameron Kim stepping in a huge spot. And Cespedes was a late inning arm at Maryland this past season. Must be stepping into a similar role here in Kingsport as well. Kim, a right-handed batter, spent 1 year in the Big Ten with UCLA. He's now headed to Cal State Fullerton. Kim digging in. Cespedes looking for the sign, and he steps off. Cespedes so far this season, 4 2/3 innings across 5 games. He's allowed 4 runs on 3 hits, walking 6 and striking out 8. See if Kim is a little patient here. He takes the first pitch low and away. Fastball at 92 from Cespedes there. He's finished 3 of those 5 games that he's appeared in. So clearly looking for more late inning reps. Cespedes working from the first base side of the rubber. The infield set up to turn a double play here, shading Kim the other way. 1-0, a breaking ball swung on and missed there. Kim so far today, a pair of hits and a pair of runs scored in his first 2 trips. Looking to go 3 for 3. It would be his first 3-hit game of the season for the Flyboys. Batting average entering today was at .241. Cespedes deals. The runners go. The pitch gets away from Primrose, and it's a double steal for the Flyboys. McNaughton takes third. Akers moves up to second. Something you see with a lot of pitchers, Cespedes, one of them, very slow to the plate. Wonder if maybe that caused Primrose to try to rush the transfer a little bit. It was a breaking pitch low. Primrose tried to go to his backhand, but the ball ricocheted off his mitt. So now, second and third with 1 away. 2-1 the count on Kim. The infield is in. And Cespedes deals. Kim takes low and outside, ball 3. Ezra McNaughton, credit him with his 8th stolen base of the season. For Akers, it's his first. Cespedes going to need something right here on 3-1. The last thing you want to do is load the bases this late in a 7-inning game. Or ever, really, as a pitcher. I'm not sure that there's a good time to do that. The 3-1 to Kim. Popped up, foul, out of play, directly behind home plate. And the count runs full. That one, a 93-mile-per-hour heater right at the top of the zone. Cameron Kim calls time at home plate. He'll take a second to gather himself before this big 3-2 pitch. Outfield is playing fairly deep. McNaughton has good speed, so anything hit well enough should score the go-ahead run for the Flyboys. And now time called at home plate by, I think, Zachary Bloom, the plate umpire there, before the 3-2. Cespedes appeared in 21 games for Maryland in his freshman season. A big right-handed pitcher at 6'4", 230 pounds. Here's the 3-2. Kim fouls it away. An off-speed pitch there. You could see him start his hands trying to turn on that inside pitch, but he waited on it just enough to foul it back. It's a good defensive swing there by Kim. Cespedes looking for the put-away pitch. Strikeout or something weakly hit on the ground would be his best friend here. 3-2. Kim hits it on the ground to short. The throw coming home. McNaughton diving in is out by plenty. Score at 6-2. And that's one of those where you call it a contact play. The runner goes on anything. McNaughton trusting his speed, but that ball was hit too hard at Cam Durnan. and he made an accurate throw. Primrose tagged out McNaughton with plenty of time to spare. So first and second, 2 out now for Grant Hunter. This is a spot the Flyboys will sorely rue if they cannot score here. First and second, 2 away. Right on right, the pitch to Hunter. Swung on and missed. A breaking ball. Strike 1 as the bottom fell out of that one. Cespedes recorded 1 save for the Terrapins this past season. The right-hander looks at second. Akers has a good lead. He's dancing but does not run. Hunter takes in the dirt for ball 1. Wonder if maybe Hunter's going to, or I should say Akers at second is going to think about stealing third here. With his secondary lead, he's almost halfway to third base by the time the ball gets to home plate. The second baseman, Swinney, is the one holding the runner with the right-handed hitter in the box. 1-1. Hunter takes a strike. Off-speed pitch right down the middle for strike 2. Cespedes very confident in the soft stuff here. That one I would classify as a hanger. Hunter has home run power, but I doubt he's getting a pitch that good to hit again. Cespedes looking to strand a pair. The runners go. 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. Flyboys had second and third with 1 out and did not score. That is an opportunity you are going to want to circle. On to the 6th in the first of this 7-inning doubleheader. We're still tied at 3 on the Greenville Flyboys Baseball Network. Flyboys stranded a pair in the last half inning. Chris Cespedes once again doing a great job getting out of trouble. So now Drew Maddox will try to keep us even. We're tied at 3 as we begin the 6th. The righty facing Ben Tryon. Left-handed batter takes up and in from Maddox. Tryon will be followed by Ty Denton and P.J. Jones. 5, 6, 7 in the Kingsport order due up here. 1-0 from Maddox. A fastball for a strike right there from the right-hander. And that's been one thing that's still been kind of frustrating for the Flyboys offense. 1-1. Tryon, a high chopper up the middle. The second baseman, Tyler Inge, has to wait on it. Strong throw to first. Is in time to get Tryon by a step. He was hustling up the first baseline. But Tryon now 0 for 3 today. The batter now, Ty Denton. The book closed on both starters now. For the Flyboys, Kyle Boddy went 4 2/3, allowing 3 runs, though just 2 were earned. On 4 hits, he walked 2 and struck out 4. And for Jacob Golston of Kingsport, 4 1/3, 3 runs all earned on 4 hits, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Ty Denton hits the first pitch in the air to straightaway right field. Micah Jordan started back, jogs in, and makes the catch for the second out. Jordan, I don't think, got a good jump on that one, but as an outfielder, your first move is always back. Jordan had plenty of time to camp under it. 2 quick outs to start the top of the 6th, and the batter now, P.J. Jones. Teammates with Kingsport reliever Chris Cespedes in College Park. The Terrapins surely paying attention to the NBA draft tonight. Derek Queen, their big man, will go presumably in the top 15. Jones hits the first pitch in the air. Down the line in right, fading towards the corner. That ball is foul into the Kingsport bullpen. Derek Queen, a 1 and done for the Terps. He will look to continue his his basketball career. Carry on from college into the National Basketball Association. 0-1 on Jones. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Maddox climbed the ladder with the fastball there. And the count's 0-2. And I think it's interesting, the NBA draft being spread out over 2 days. 0-2 on Jones. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Maddox blew a couple fastballs by him there. That one, 90 miles an hour on the radar gun. It's a 1-2-3-6 for the Flyboys reliever. Greenville looking to take a late lead as we enter the bottom of the 6th in this 7-inning game. Tied at 3 on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Christopher Cespedes, as you might expect, after his strong first inning in relief, back out for Kingsport as we begin the bottom of the 6th. Cespedes worked around second and third with 1 out and did not allow a run. So we are tied at 3 between the Flyboys and the Axemen. Cespedes will face Brady Francisco, AJ Diaz, and Reed Hare. 7, 8, 9 in the Greenville order. The Flyboys, if they can take the lead here, would need just 3 outs to end game 1 of this 7-inning doubleheader. And you want to talk about demoralizing a team, that's a good way to do it. Take the lead in the bottom of 1 inning and then end the game in the top of the next. That would be the dream scenario here for the Flyboys. Francisco stepping to the plate. 2 RBIs and 2 trips for him.
Brady Francisco.
Right on right as Cespedes gets ready to step on the rubber. No pitchers up in either bullpen. So it looks like we might see Cespedes versus Drew Maddox the rest of the way. Here's the wind of the pitch. Francisco fouls it back. That is actually a bonus for the Flyboys as they get set for a road trip, taking on Johnson City and Pulaski in the coming days. The Flyboys and Kingsport both only having to cover 21 innings as opposed to 20 or 18, I would say, over 2 games. 21 over 3. 0-1 on Francisco, and the fastball misses low. But with these 7-inning games, the Flyboys can save a little bit of pitching, which is always a good thing. 1-1 on Francisco. Cespedes shakes off a sign, now nods his head. The wind and the pitch. Francisco hits one in the air to right center field, ranging over his Pitts. Deep in the gap, he makes the catch. Pitts covers ground well out there. That's the first out here in the bottom of the 6th. Tied at 3. The batter now, AJ Diaz.
AJ Diaz.
Was just 2 for 3 entering today, but he's reached both times, a single and a hit by pitch. We'll see if he can start the Flyboys rally here. If he can reach, Flyboys might think about a sacrifice, though with 1 away, I wouldn't count on it. Diaz takes a strike. Change up there from Cespedes at 82 miles per hour. Good arm action on that one. It just dropped straight off the table. Cespedes working quickly. And the 0-1. Diaz chops one up the middle. Durnan ranging towards the second base bag. Throws out Diaz. Score at 6-3. And Cespedes has been very efficient so far in this game. He's recorded 4 outs on just 16 pitches, so inducing weak contact. Only 1 strikeout so far. But he's getting outs late in this game for Kingsport, and that's what the Axemen are looking for. Reed Hare digging in. Last hope for the Flyboys here in the 6th. Cespedes delivers to the left-handed batter. Hare squares to bunt, but fouls it off into the third base dugout. Mentioned that Hare's got good speed, and in that left-handed batter's box, bunt for hit is definitely on the table here, even with 2 away in the inning. He was the one who started the 7th inning Flyboys rally yesterday with a leadoff walk. 0-1 on him here. The third baseman, Sims, looks ready to crash. 0-1. Hare takes outside. He did not square around there. Sims still playing a couple steps behind the third base bag, but you can tell he's on his toes, ready to sprint in to cover the third base line on a bunt. Looks like the pitcher, Cespedes, will cover the first base line. Here's the 1-1. Hare swings and misses. A good sinking fastball there from Cespedes, running away from the left-handed batter. And the count now 1-2. Cespedes has been great facing the Flyboys so far this season. Looking to finish a 4th scoreless inning against Greenville. Here's the pitch. Low and outside. But Cespedes looks very confident on the mound. He's attacking the strike zone. You notice a lot of first pitch strikes, which is a good mark of success for any pitcher. A nod from the righty. And the 2-2 to Reed Hare. Inside bouncing in the left-handed batter's box, and the count runs full. Hare's a very patient hitter. He works a lot of walks. And it would be huge if he can reach here. With Cespedes a righty on the mound, I'd imagine Hare would be aggressive trying to take second base. But he's got to get to first base before he can think about that. Full count on him. Top of the order waiting on deck. We're tied in the bottom of the 6th. And the 3-2 from Cespedes. Hare checks his swing, and he held up. Oh, he went around. No way. Hare, I think, just had a walk taken away from him. There is no way he went around on that swing. And there's also no way that the home plate umpire could judge that. Reed Hare has the bat taken out of his hands. That is a questionable call at best from home plate umpire Zachary Bloom. But we will go to the 7th as Cespedes retires the side in order. Flyboys perhaps wondering what could have been there if Hare could have reached first. Drew Maddox will look to get 3 outs to give the Flyboys a chance to walk it off here on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Flyboys looking to keep Kingsport right where they are. We're tied at 3 as we enter the 7th and final inning of regulation here at Pioneer Park. Game 2 of this doubleheader will come about 30 minutes after the conclusion of this game. Drew Maddox looking to retire 8-9-1 in the Kingsport order. Brogan Jones will pinch hit for Colton Sims. Rick Adair, the Kingsport manager, opting for a pinch batter here. So Sims' day is done. He was 0 for 2 entering this spot in the lineup here, the 3rd time through. Maddox delivers a first pitch breaking ball for a strike. He's retired the first 4 batters that he's faced consecutively, entering with 2 away in the 5th. 0-1 to Jones, outside. Brogan Jones in the game last night was 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Here's the 1-1. Jones takes outside. He was the ghost runner in the tiebreaker inning, stranded at third base. Ghost runner starts at first here in the Appy League, as Greenville elected to play the field and kept the Axemen off the board to win the game. Here's the 2-1. Jones takes low as Maddox missed with the fastball that time. The count 3-1. And this is what you don't want. Maddox has been efficient so far, but walking the leadoff man in the top of the final inning is not a good way to start. Maddox will try to battle back. Here's the 3-1. Jones takes a breaking ball high, ball 4. First base runner that Maddox has allowed in relief here. Jack Wilson quickly out of the Flyboys dugout to talk to Maddox. Mason Sweeney digging in. A run scored back in the 5th. That was on the 2-run double by Cam Durnan that tied us at 3. That's where we still sit. Flyboys looking to get out of trouble here. They'll have the top of the order due up in the bottom of the 7th, and Greenville has been very good in these late game pressure cooker situations. Winning in walk-off fashion on Sunday, winning in extra innings yesterday. And this is definitely, it feels like another one of those games. The thing is that the offensive momentum, I think, lies with Kingsport right now, especially with their top of the order waiting in the wings. For Swinney, he's the number 9 hitter. This might be a sacrifice situation. You want to give the top of the order a chance to do what it did back in the 5th, tying the game at 3. A.J. Diaz, the third baseman, is in on the grass. Short lead for the runner Jones. We'll see if Swinney squares. Right on right. Diaz is creeping in at third base. Swinney swings away and fouls back the first pitch. This seems like the classic sacrifice situation. Number 9 hitter up, late in the game, you need a man in scoring position. The third base coach, Mike Policastro, giving a lot of signs over there. Runner with a bit of a bigger lead. Diaz creeping in again. Swinney swings away, hits one up the middle. This might be 2. Kim shovels to Inge for 1. On to first. Double play. That's why you were thinking about the sacrifice. But instead, it's a tailor-made 6-4-3 double play turned by the Flyboys. That is exactly what Drew Maddox was looking for. Perfect pitching there by Maddox. Swinney rolling over that fastball right at the bottom of the zone. Cameron Kim positioned perfectly at shortstop, Inge covering the bag, making a strong throw, and Ezra McNaughton stretching out for it on the other end. Base is empty, 2 away for Alex Kelsey. He hits the first pitch on the ground, fielded on a hop by Kim. Throw to first is in time, and Maddox works a scoreless top of the 7th. Great job by the Flyboys reliever, erasing the leadoff walk with a double play. Greenville has the top of the order due up in the bottom half of the inning with a chance to walk it off. We're tied at 5 on the Flyboys Baseball Network. The Kingsport Axemen will turn to Micah Wells as we begin the bottom of the 7th and final inning. In the first game of this doubleheader, the Flyboys and the Axemen tied at 3. Wells coming on to face the top of the Flyboys order. Micah Jordan, Tyler Inge, and the ever-dangerous Ezra McNaughton. For Jordan, facing Wells, these are 2 guys who go to school not too far from each other. Jordan out of Virginia Tech and Micah Wells out of St. Joseph's in Philadelphia. Wells has been good for the Axemen so far this season. 5 2/3 innings pitched, just a pair of runs allowed. He's finished 3 of the 5 games he's appeared in, walking 3 and striking out 4. This is a bunt for hit situation. Jordan with good speed over there. And the pitch. Jordan squares, gets it down in front of home plate. The pitch was so far inside, he had to wait on it, but the pitcher bobbles it. Wells couldn't pick it up cleanly. That pitch ran so far inside on Jordan that he started backing out of the way. But the ball, bunted into fair territory, meant that Jordan had to run. And he got the wheels turning quickly. The pitcher coming off the mound, Wells, bobbled it, trying to pick it up off the infield grass. And just like that, the Flyboys have the winning run aboard. It's a bunt single for Micah Jordan. Or they called it a fielding error on Wells. That's probably the right move, actually. Inge stepping to the plate now. This is a sacrifice situation. We'll see if he squares. Throw over to first. Jordan is safe. And if you're the Flyboys, you want to get the sacrifice down here. Kingsport was in the same situation with the leadoff man on in the top of this inning and grounded into a double play. Jordan off first. Inge. Another throw over. Jordan safe. Jordan leads the league with 12 stolen bases, so you understand the paranoia by Wells. This is an obvious, maybe even a bunt and run situation. If you're Flyboys manager Jack Wilson, he might be thinking about that here. Jordan off first. He runs. The pitch gets to the backstop. Jordan has second base stolen easily. And you could tell that Wells was paranoid about the running game. This has not been the start to the bottom of the 7th that he was looking for at all. He can't pick up the bunt cleanly. And then Jordan steals second without a play as the pitch gets to the backstop. Still a sacrifice situation. The winning run at second, the corner infielders are in, and the pitcher steps off. I would not be surprised at all to see Kingsport pitching coach John Chalupa come out of the dugout here. He's at the top step right now, but you could tell Wells is very amped up. 1-0 on Inge. The corner infielders on the grass. Jordan at second with a big lead. Inge takes a breaking ball low. That one a slow curveball. Running low and a bit too far inside. So 2-0 on Inge. Wonder if maybe he swings away here. The dangerous Ezra McNaughton waiting on deck. Wells desperately needs a strike. Here's the 2-0. A breaking ball. That one on the high inside corner for strike 1. Greenville and Kingsport tied at 3 here in the last of the 7th. This is a 7-inning game. Flyboys looking to walk it off right here. They've got the winning run on second with nobody out. 2-1. Inge takes in the dirt, blocked cleanly by Primrose. Jordan retreats to second base. Greenville last night had the winning run at third with 1 out and did not score. Coincidentally, that was also Micah Jordan. Inge takes a deep breath before stepping back in. Big pitch coming here on 3-1 with McNaughton on deck and first base open. Wells is set. The third baseman, Brogan Jones, still anticipating the bunt. 3-1 pitch, hit in the air to shallow right center. This might be trouble. Pitts, Tryon, and Swinney converging. The right fielder, Ben Tryon, coming in, makes the catch. That ball was not hit deep enough for Jordan to think about advancing. Winning run at second, 1 away in the inning. The batter, Ezra McNaughton. McNaughton hitless so far today and in this series. 0 for 2, both last night and tonight. And much like in the 7th inning last night, McNaughton is intentionally walked here. That is the 3rd time in the last 3 games with a walk-off on the board that McNaughton has been intentionally walked. Lane Akers stepping to the plate once again. Akers was the walk-off hero for the Flyboys in their win over Pulaski on Sunday. And he'll look to do the same thing here again on Wednesday. First and second, 1 away. This is a big spot for Wells to get out of the inning because the double play is in order. McNaughton at first, Jordan at second. Both have good speed. Wells is set. Right on right. First pitch to Akers. Line drive to right field. This ball's well hit. Tryon ranging over, makes the running catch. That was ticketed for all kinds of trouble. But Ben Tryon got a great read on it, made the catch, and then got the ball back in fast enough that Micah Jordan could not tag up and advance to third. So it's all on the shoulders of Cameron Kim. The Flyboys had a man at second with nobody out. Jordan stole second base after reaching on an error. But they've now had 2 golden scoring chances in this game, and they are in danger of squandering both of them. Let's see if Kim can change that. He's had a great day so far. First pitch. Kim takes up and in. He's got 2 of Greenville's 4 hits and 2 of their 3 runs scored. Jordan has phenomenal speed, and since he's off on contact, it's going to be tough for the Axemen to throw him out at home plate. McNaughton at first. The run does not matter. Here's the 1-0 to Kim. Well outside. Missing with the fastball was Wells. We mentioned it yesterday, but Cameron Kim was upset on Sunday that he was intentionally walked in a walk-off spot and didn't have a chance to be the hero. He's got another chance to come through here. 2-0, an advantage count. Wells needing a strike. Outfielders playing at normal depth. Here's the 2-0. Kim swings and misses. Late on a fastball at 88. I think he was trying to hit a walk-off 3-run homer there. He's got 1 homer on the season, but a base hit would also do the job just fine. If Kim can reach, Grant Hunter would be next. Flyboys looking to walk it off and avoid extra innings for the 2nd straight game. Here's the 2-1. Kim pops it foul behind the plate, and the count's 2-2. Back-to-back elevated fastballs there from Wells, and Kim hasn't been able to get the good part of the bat to either one. Flyboys have the winning run at second. It's Micah Jordan, tied at 3 in the last half inning of regulation. Bottom of the 7th in the first game of this doubleheader. An inning that started out so shakily for Wells. He's now a pitch away from getting out of the jam. Here's the 2-2. Kim hits one in the air to right field. Ben Tryon is there, and he makes the catch. Flyboys had the winning run at second with nobody out, did not score. And we are going to an extra tiebreaker inning for the 2nd consecutive game here at Pioneer Park. I suspect the Flyboys will play the field. Keenan Mork coming in out of the bullpen. It looks like that is what Greenville will do. So, as we established last night, if the Flyboys hold Kingsport off the board, they will win the game. If Kingsport scores, they will have a ghost runner at first base. If that runner crosses home plate, the Axemen win. We'll be back with the final frame of this one right after this. Tied at 3 on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Flyboys will turn to Keenan Mork, looking to get the final 3 outs here in extra innings. The extra inning rules here in the Appy League. The home team chooses whether to hit or play the field. The Flyboys have chosen to defend. If the home team holds the offense scoreless, they win the game. If the offense scores, they win. Very simple. The Kingsport Axemen will have a ghost runner at first base. That is Alex Kelsey, as he was the last out of the 7th inning. And Kingsport has 2, 3, 4 in the order due up. So this is a dream scenario for Kingsport. Greenville won in the tiebreaker inning last night. But it might be tougher this time around. Keenan Mork, the right-hander, out of the bullpen. He'll face Derek Pitts, Cam Durnan, and Blake Primrose. The scheduled hitters here, all right-handers. Kelsey with good speed leads off of first. Mork is set. And the pitch. Pitts fouls it away over the first base dugout. Both of these men have good speed. Keenan Mork struggled in his last outing. He pitched against Pulaski on Sunday. And the Flyboys were leading 5-2 when he entered the game. It was tied at 5 when he left. Greenville walked it off in the bottom of the next inning. 0-1 on Pitts. Throw over to first. Kelsey dives back in safely. It was a close play over there. Now playing first base for the Flyboys is Dylan Jackson. So Ezra McNaughton has either moved to the outfield or it looks like his day is done. 0-1 on Pitts. Runner off of first. Another throw over. No tag. He's safe. And looking over there, it is Dylan Jackson at first base. 0-1 on Pitts. After a couple pickoffs, Mork comes home. Big swing and a miss on the fastball there. And the count 0-2. Mork in that game on Sunday against Pulaski. He surrendered 4 consecutive base runners to lead off the inning. And then the tying run scored on a wild pitch. Another throw over to first. Oh, it looked like they had him. Wow, that's a close play. Kelsey just got a hand in. Right-handed pitcher, right-handed first baseman. Usually the advantage goes to the base runner, but that was as close of a pickoff play as you'll ever see without an out being recorded. Here's the 0-2. Pitts hits one in the air. He got jammed. Straight away right. Micah Jordan makes the catch. The runner does not tag. One away. But now Cam Durnan stepping to the plate. He had the 2-run double that tied us at 3 in the 5th. And the score line has remained unchanged since that occurred. Durnan, the Axemen's best RBI threat. He leads the team with 19 driven in. And he can end it with RBI number 20. Kelsey off of first. Right on right, Mork is set. And the pitch. Up and in. The runner, Kelsey, started off of first base. He shuffled a couple of steps, but decided not to run. Tyler Inge is at shortstop now for the Flyboys. Cameron Kim has moved over to third base. Throw over to first. They got him leaning. Jackson chasing him towards second, and the tag there. They tagged him out on the base path before he got to second base. Kelsey pleading his case, saying Peyton Miller missed the barehanded tag. He ended up standing on second base. And Kingsport is up in arms about this. Rick Adair, the manager, out of the dugout. Tyrell Harris, the first base coach, also talking to the field umpire Marcus DeCiso. Jackson chased Alex Kelsey towards second base, flipped it to Peyton Miller. Miller tried to apply a barehanded tag. Kelsey is pleading, reaching his arm out, saying that he missed the tag. Miller then pump faked, tried to tag him again as Kelsey ended up standing on second base. Rick Adair, understandably not pleased. But the call stands. Score at 1-3-4 on the pickoff, and the Flyboys are an out away from ending this game. What a defensive play by Greenville there. We mentioned earlier in the inning there was an extremely close pickoff at first, and that time Kelsey got a little too greedy. So So now 2 away. The Flyboys need one more out to win their second tiebreaker in 24 hours. 1-0 the count on Durnan. Here's the pitch from Mork. Breaking ball popped up. This could do it. It's on the infield. Cameron Kim, the third baseman, says he's got it. And he does. The Flyboys win in a tiebreaker for the second consecutive game. The pickoff by Keenan Mork erasing the ghost runner. This one was tied 3-3 at the end of regulation. Mork erases the ghost runner with a pickoff, retires the other 2 men via flyouts, and Greenville wins this one. A great job by the Flyboys. They've locked up the series. They'll go for the sweep in about half an hour. Your final in regulation, 3-3. Greenville winning in the tiebreaker as the Flyboys hold Kingsport off the board. They will improve the Flyboys to 11-5. Kingsport dropping to 9-8. Greenville looking for the sweep here later on this evening.